Hi everyone, welcome back to Stella Rosebella, where I talk about the latest Asian drama, music, and shows. So today I want to talk about my first impressions of Bright Eyes in the Dark. 他从火光中走来. So let's get into it. So I've watched the first 6 episodes already. The cast is amazing. It's a firefighter like T-Tai. It was supposed to air earlier, but it didn't air during that time because of another drama that was like similar type of like material. So yeah, so now it's finally out in the world. So who's in it? Zhang Jing Yi, she plays Nanchu, who is a dancer. She just like following her dreams. Huang Jingyu, who plays Ling Lu Shao, he plays a firefighter, so that's who he is. I have to say the first episode really got me because the opening of that scene and everything, I was like, this is like a movie. It didn't even feel like a drama. It's like an opening to a movie. I just forgot that I was watching a drama for a second. And because like the opening, it started the story with the fire scene and everything, and like the credits were rolling. Because usually in the drama, the thing that you first see when you open an episode is like a mini like music video of the theme song, like with the main characters, like like stuff, or like a cartoon animation type of video. But this time it's like the credits are rolling, like who's the director, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. So I really loved the opening scene, and I really appreciate how the story was told in terms of, because later you see there was an earthquake scene and everything, and you hear the reporter talking about like, oh, this is like where it's happening, what's the magnitude, which like who's on the scene and everything, and then after the earthquake later the after effects and everything. And I was like, I really appreciate that. And also like the hours that like after the earthquake happened and how many hours it took, like how many hours the firefighters worked. The timeline of the story really clearly shows, which I feel like every drama does that. It'll show like what year and everything, but I feel like this drama is even more, and I really really love that. So this drama, because it deals with firefighters, are you portraying these firefighters in a way that like people can learn from it, which this drama does. In one scene in the beginning, you see that the male lead is trying to save these kids who were like in the rubbles. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong, but he was trying to these kids that were stuck under like all these like buildings and everything, and then there was like the after effects after like the shake, and it still happened, and his team pulled him out immediately. He was like, I could have saved him and everything, and they were saying like how you can't save everyone, and your own safety is important as well, and everyone's safety is important as well. So this goes into talking about sort of like you being like um your own safety, your team's safety, or like helping other people. Sort of like that struggle, I guess, in a sense. Whether you're like when you're a doctor, or like when you go and help someone and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of sense. And then there's another perspective from for the firefighter as well, when the male lead goes and tries to help this guy who's trying to unalive himself while drinking, and he also drinks with that person while wearing the uniform. And it shows like sometimes the drama, like sometimes you see it in dramas like, oh, they just like brush it off, like they don't really show like what happens after this firefighter. Obviously he's gonna like be reported and everything, but it doesn't really show much of it. But this one shows that there's someone there, and she's telling him like, you can hear that, oh, he's like off today and everything, like he's just trying to help this person. But I'm just like, but you were drinking, and you know what I'm saying? It sort of shows like what happens after, which I think like that's great. It shows that. And then another scene is when Summer reports a fake emergency. So this goes into you see the female lead in the dance studio with her dance group and everything, and the landlady is trying to kick them out So anyways, she reports a fake emergency and she gets arrested and taken to the police station. And I feel like that sort of sends a message to the audience, like, you shouldn't do that and all those things and stuff like that. But it doesn't really show, like, after what happens when she gets to the police station. I'm assuming there's, like, a warning for her or anything, or she's fined. Like, don't do that at all. And another perspective that they add is there's new blood added to the team. So these are like young people that were saved by the male lead, like in that earthquake, and they became firefighters as well. And because they're new, I guess they're more like, they show more of how they feel. They're more vulnerable. Like they're like, oh, these like life and death situations, and you can see like how they feel. And the other firefighters is sort of like, they've been in this job for such a long time. They're sort of like, okay, like, you know, they're sort of like used to it, you know what I mean? So another perspective that you get is the firefighters with family. So you see that the wife really wants her husband to not work as a firefighter and, you know, spend time with the family and like everything like that. And you see sort of like the struggle that the firefighter goes through and also the family side of it. So I think like this drama really shows like a lot of different perspectives of like being a firefighter and like what they have to deal with and a lot of things. So the female lead, she is a dancer, and it's sort of like her, I guess, like her part of the story is more of like the arts side of the story. So she's a dancer, and like her dance group is sort of like, they don't really have much money left or no money at all. And they're like, how can we continue this dance group, this dance company that we have? And it's sort of like reality versus your dream. Do you like pursue your dream just because, you know, you have this passion, but you don't have the money to sort of, you know, support it? And so she ends up picking up and signing to be an actress, and so she like puts money back into the dance company. So I guess like that perspective. And then another perspective of like pursuing your dreams is Zhang Jing Yi, the character he plays the male lead's brother. He plays a violinist, and he's pursuing his dream as well. And the company signed him not because of his talent at all. And he was like, what? And it's sort of like, you're stuck in this contract. Do you continue? Do you, you know, if you break the contract, obviously you have to like pay them back that money or whatever. And so I feel like that's another way to look up about like this dream that you have. For him, his side is sort of like when you're pursuing this, and I feel like it sort of like shows like when you're in the industry, like what goes on a little bit. I'm not sure, but I see that like when you look at like the 不同的艺人, like when they go on events and everything, they have to socialize, they have to like talk to people. So far, I do really like this drama so far because it shows like these different perspectives, whether from the male lead as a firefighter, as the female lead, like her arts and her dreams and all these like different things. And I feel like it really shows a lot. And in terms of like the sort of like 知识就是like 关于 like 消防的什么的, like at the end of every episode they give like, oh, what if this happens, what you should do and everything for your own safety, and like, you know, and like what you shouldn't do and everything like that. And I feel like that's good to show, you know, the audience and sort of like help the audience like, oh, like remember like what to do at that moment and everything like that. And I feel like this drama for now, it's good, but I hope that like later, like as it continues the storyline, I hope there isn't like, because the female lead, she becomes like a celebrity. I don't know if her character is gonna be like a popular, you know, or like a really like 红的 like 艺人, or like I don't know, but like I hope it doesn't become like, oh, like these are 艺人, like they're like competing against each other. I hope there's no like love triangle. I don't like those at all. So yeah, and I hope there isn't like a storyline where like, oh, this like the female lead, like she's going out with this guy, and there was like all these like gossip and everything, maybe involved with the firefight, all these things. I was like, I just hope that like their like love, like their relationship, the female lead and male lead, like their relationship doesn't like take that much of the story. I'm not gonna lie, even though I do like love stories, I feel like this drama and a lot of dramas, there's so much more that you can talk about as well, not only about this relationship. Because I feel like after like they talk about like, oh, this male lead or this female lead, their job is this and that's it, and they don't really talk about like other things related to the job other than these two characters relationship. So hopefully their like relationship takes a small percentage of the story, not like 80% of the story. I hope not. It doesn't seem like it will. That is what I hope, and that's what I'm thinking so far. Anyways, let me know what you think of this drama, if you've watched it, what you think, and everything like that, okay? I will see you next one in the next video. Ooh, bye!